Hey all, here OS Reviews. You're watching our hands-on review of the Mijiaer T10. These are Bluetooth 5.0 true wireless earbuds that have a kind of interesting design, a little bit inspired by the Apple AirPods, but they're also not a one-to-one replica like some of the other models we've seen, but it does have a larger stem that puts the microphone closer to your mouth, and they also claim to have vibrating graphene drivers, which they claim will give you richer bass that you can actually feel as it vibrates. Now, downside is the battery life is a little on the short side. Each charge will give you 4.5 hours of playback time. That's a little shorter than some of the other newer models we've seen that can give you 6 or even 8 hours at once. However, with the battery case, you can get over 20 hours of playback. The packaging here is pretty simple, it just says T10 on the side, and then we have some basic specs printed on the rear here as well. Inside, we have a large user manual that documents how to set it up and use it. We have just the wireless earbuds themselves, and we also have the micro USB cable for charging in addition to spare silicone tips. Now, this is one thing I really like about these T10s is they have a larger wing on most of these customizable tips if you want them. So they will give you some added resistance when you're wearing them, preventing them from falling out quite as easily. Taking a closer look at the battery case here, it almost looks like leather, but it's actually just hard plastic. So they are engraving this leather-like material on the top, which isn't that bad. It makes it a little bit easier to grip and prevents fingerprints from accumulating too much. Overall, it's a pretty small battery case, definitely smaller in comparison to the aforementioned MPOW T5, which also have a leather-like look, as you can see, and they are about the same as the Crazy Baby Air Nanos, so these are very pocketable. Here it is next to something like the Apple AirPods, so again, it's pretty similar in terms of overall size. What's interesting is that once you open the door, the earbuds automatically come to life and enter the pairing mode. That's because this little rubber pad here adds enough pressure on top of the earbuds when you're closing it down. By the way, this lid here is also magnetic, that it presses them down and makes the contact points for the earbuds, which are down below here, stick on enough so that they turn off and begin charging. So when the lid of the battery case is open, they will automatically start pairing to your phone. So if we take a closer look at the design, I would say they are fairly discreet, but they're not the most distinctive thing in the world. They do have an interesting aluminum accent on the tips, which reminds me a little bit of a vinyl or a CD. And then the earbuds themselves have a oblique shape, so they are super comfortable and ergonomic. They fit in very well into your ears, and with the added wing attachment that you can pop on, they will look like this. So here's an arm next to something like an Apple AirPod. You can tell they have almost the same length, and the weight is also about the same. So this feels a little bit more hollow, but that means because of the added rubber wings, it's also not adding too much weight. And as a result, they remain very comfortable even after a few hours of continuous listening. Now, these also have touch controls, just like on Apple's AirPods. So this is a capacitive key as opposed to a physical button that you can tap on to turn it on and off by holding. You can also tap on it once to play and pause your track when you're already paired. You can double tap to do things like answer or reject a phone call, skip tracks, things like that. Now, one downside is if you have the rubber wings attached, they don't fit well into the battery case anymore, so you do need to remove them each time that you want to charge them up. So that could be a little bit time consuming. I do wish that manufacturers would maybe make a larger battery case ever so slightly to accommodate those accessories. I've seen this problem before on another pair. That's actually pretty easy to remove as well because it's just rubber. So you can attach it and put it on just by taking a second or two. Moving into audio quality and performance, overall, I do think that the T10 sound very good, but as do almost all of the Bluetooth 5.0 earbuds I've tested. Overall, though, there is a very good amount of bass for earbuds, so like they advertise, they are extremely strong when you're playing back a bass-boosted track or EDM-type music. It really takes you by surprise here. You can definitely feel the bass. It kind of vibrates. This is an experience that you really couldn't find in any pair of earbuds just a year or two ago, especially wireless ones. So there has been great advancements made in this space recently, especially with Bluetooth 5.0. It's really helping with this technology. Otherwise, the latency is also great. There's almost no delay between the video and the audio, so you can play and pause the track really quickly and it still stays synced perfectly. You can watch YouTube videos, action sequences, and it remains really enjoyable. Especially with bass, I would say it even outperforms the MPOW H9 and the Apple AirPods in that regard. They deliver even more punch in those those lower frequencies. So if you are a bass head, I do think these are one of the better pairs to find right now. So that's pretty much it as far as our hands-on review of the Mijiaer T10. I do think that as far as true wireless earbuds are concerned, it doesn't deliver anything that we really haven't seen before, but it does have a kind of interesting design because they have a stem, but these are also not true Apple AirPod clones. At the same time, they offer better than average bass. For exercising and sports, they are a nice fit to consider. Now, downsides would be the fact that they, again, have slightly smaller batteries built directly into the earbuds. So as long as you don't need a pair that will last you for, let's say, an international flight, or if you can, stand a quick top-up here and there, then I think that they will be still satisfactory. You can find out more details in the links down below, but for now, that's been our video. Thanks for watching here at OS Reviews. That's been the T10 True Wireless Earbuds.